Hey, it's Dorleen, and what you see on my screen are 16 7-petaled flowers that I'm going to be making some three-dimensional roses for a challenge that I'm doing with the Bitten by the Bug 2 design team that I'm on. What I also did is on my Cricut, I put the dial on custom, so I was able to select the aluminum choice. And the reason why I did that is because I'm cutting them on these aluminum sheets that I've had in my stash forever. They were gifted from my brother-in-law's sister. Um, and again, I have not used them. So once I loaded that onto my Cricut, I hit the cut button and I'm just letting the Cricut do its thing and cut those petals out. So as you can see here, some of the areas were a little wonky in the way it was cut, but I wasn't too worried about it because if you notice, it all seems to be in that negative space and not necessarily on the petals. Although as I was pulling this up, or the sheet up, some of the petals did get caught up in it, so I did get some wonky petals, but I wasn't too worried about it. To make it easier, I flipped the Cricut mat over and I just use my hands, and you'll see me use the spatula a lot because even though this was metal or an aluminum, I thought it would be a little tougher. I don't know if tougher is the right word, but it was just very delicate. Matter of fact, some of it I felt like it tore easier than paper, but and I think there was only one that I actually tore while I was pulling it off. The rest I was trying to be really careful with, and what I'm doing is I'm creating three-dimensional flowers, and I'm basically just using the same steps I would use as if I was making these flowers out of paper. So I'm cutting off, like here you can see me one petal there. This one will be two petals. And the next one, I actually tore it while it was coming off, so it already had some petals missing. So I just decided to do that because I was cutting three, which left me with four petals. And then again, if you've done these three-dimensional flowers, you're basically gluing the two petals that are within that V, I guess, or next to each other, and just gluing them on top of each other, and that creates some dimension with these petal layers. I'm going to be saying petals a lot, so I'm giving you a warning. I'm just using a chopstick that I have on my desk, and you can use a pencil or anything like that, but I'm see me again folding that over using the glue gun to adhere those petals together. And I will tell you, as an afterthought, I really should have used some gloves because that glue on that metal got really hot. And I also cut myself a little bit, nothing too major, but almost like paper cuts, just real thin. So anyhow, back to the chopstick and rolling the petals. So I rolled all the petals on each layer of the flowers, and so that helped me determine placement of the flowers once I started layering them. When I get to the main base, which again has the 7 petals, I in the middle of the flower, I kind of push it down with my thumb, and I end up using the chopstick to create kind of like a bowl, if you want to call it that. And that's again just to kind of let all those layers lay together. So that gives it more dimension with the final flower. And again, if you've ever done paper flowers, it's the exact same thing. When you roll those petals, or when you adhere those petals on top, they automatically give you kind of a bowl shape on that bottom. So a lot of it I had to flatten out, and you'll see me later, I even trim them with scissors because that metal got real sharp. But it's fine, and it all worked out. And you can see me fussing with the petals, trying to make it. I'll see, there you go, right there. I'm cutting it a little bit because it was just a little too sharp. I was using my fingers to try to bend it, but I just kept thinking, I'm going to cut myself even worse. So with this material, I did use scissors. But I just used my hot glue, like I mentioned earlier, to put these layers together. And when you put the petals down, you don't want them lined up. You want them a little offset so it looks very natural. I'm rolling these. This is the 2 and the 1 petals that were left over from when I cut them out, and that just helps with that center portion of the roses, and they look so pretty when they're done. But I hope you like this project. I know you're going to see the final project in a minute. I do have a blog post on this, and you will see that down below. You can go to my website, or my blog, which is www.craftsinthecommandcenter.blogspot.com. That's the name of my craft room, or the command center, and I'm definitely crafting in there. But these flowers were really easy to put together, and I really love the way they turned out. They're very unique with that metal versus paper. And again, I was doing this because of a challenge on the Bitten by the Bug website, which I'll also have that link down below. But isn't that so pretty? You can see the dimension of that, and just the petals. I just go through again and just kind of roll here and there, but they're pretty awesome, right? This is one that I completed already, and I just used some wire to add to the bottom. But I hope you like it, and if you do, give me a thumbs up, and make sure you hit that subscribe button down below if you're not already. And wait, I end up making 4 more, so I have 6 total, and I probably should have cut more petals, but it actually worked out perfect. And I used 3 layers of flowers for each rose. Hope that makes sense. But I hope you like it. Again, look at all these final products. Isn't that beautiful? I'll see you next time. Bye.